Welcome to my daily animal chores. Each morning I begin with the chickens because they're always very excited to get out of their hen house. And their grain and their feed is located in this little shed underneath our porch. I've got them well labeled, one bin for scratch grains and the other for chicken feed. Each morning I give them 1 cup of scratch grains leveled at the top, and then they receive feed in their feeders. I fill that up every day as it's needed. Their feeders are pretty big, so doing it whenever they're starting to get low is just fine. So the first thing you've got to remember is to turn off the electric fence. We have predators, so having the electric fences is super helpful for keeping our animals safe. When the green light is flashing, the fence is hot. When it's not flashing, it's safe to work with it. So we always turn that off. The yellow flashing light just means that it's charging. So that's usually happening whenever the sun is out. I keep this extra rope at the bottom so that predators can't sneak in at that bottom part of the gate. I like to really spread out the scratch grains before I even let the girls out. And I'm trying to give all the chickens a chance to get to some because the bigger girls will pick on the littles. And if I spread them out, my hope is that everybody gets a little bit of the scratch grains. They don't need it. It's like a treat or a snack. So they're going to be perfectly fine without it. But I want everybody to get a little fun treat first thing in the morning, and you can see they're super excited to come on out. The other thing it does is it distracts them so that I can do the other chores in the hen house, filling up the waters, giving them more feed, all that good stuff, and they don't bother me because they're distracted with that. I latch the door open so that the wind doesn't accidentally blow it shut during the day. The hen house is on a hill, so it doesn't always stay open on its own. Next up is filling the waters, and I do this, I usually will check them every morning. I want to make sure that they have fresh water, especially as we're warming up in the summer months. I have 2 big waters and then a couple of bowls as well. I top off these bowls. If they're getting kind of dirty, I'll dump them out, rinse them out, and completely refill. And then these bigger ones really don't need to be filled on a daily basis. They are 3 gallons, and so they last for several days before they really need to be refilled. I'm going to give it a good rinse because chickens always get dirt in their waters. It doesn't matter what kind of water you have, they always get dirty and dusty with chickens. Then we're going to top this guy off. And then the bottom just twists and locks into place. And then the hardest part is to flip it back over again without splashing water all over yourself. Back in the shed again, we're going to grab some chicken feed and fill up their feeders. They can have as much feed as they like. I always keep it well stocked, especially having baby chicks that are growing. I want to make sure they have as much nutrition as they can get. Everybody gets the same kind of feed right now, so that makes it super easy. I also have oyster shells that you can see in that black container. And then I keep grit as well. But those items only need to be refilled maybe once or twice a month. And we have plenty of rodents here out in the woods and in the country. So we always make sure to close up all of our grains and feed to try and keep down on the number of animals. So every morning, let's let the girls out, give them scratch, and then check for water and food. And some days I don't have to do the water or the food at all, but I always check them, and then I know they're good for the day. And next up, I do the goats. And the goats can stay outside all night long now that we've got the electric fence working. So I'm not in as much of a hurry to get to them. So we've got to turn that electric fence off before we start working with it, just like the chickens. And all of our electric fences remain off during the daytime. We're out and about almost every day, and our predator threat is mostly at night. The goats are really easy. It's feed and water, and they are good for the day. I have this little side room where I keep all of their feed so that hopefully they will not get into it and eat more than they should. It is well labeled. We have goat feed, we have alfalfa hay, and then we have straw, which is just for bedding for the floor. I also have goat treats, and they can have 1 or 2 handfuls a day if you want. Some days we do, some days we don't. Olivia loves it. Penelope, sometimes she loves it, and sometimes she's just not interested. But first thing in the morning, we just do goat feed. And we use 1 scoop of feed that is shared between the 2 goats. I put 1/2 on one side and the other half on the other side to hopefully prevent fighting over food. The alfalfa hay goes in the feeder that is between them. And so as needed, I just grab a pile of it and put that in the feeder. And I try and move the hay towards the front of the feeder. They're little goats, and I think this feeder is designed for maybe animals that are a little bit bigger. So I pull it to the front so they can get to it. But they've got more than enough here to last them probably several days. So I just keep it stocked. The last morning chore that I have for the goats is if they sleep inside, I'll sweep the poop off of their sleeping platforms so that it's clean and ready for them for the next day. And I just sweep that right onto the floor in the bedding. Of course, I want them to have fresh water just like the chickens. So, not every day, but pretty regularly, I will rinse out their water. So maybe every 2 or 3 days, I'll dump it out and completely refill it. And other days, I'll just top it off. But we want to make sure they have plenty of water for the heat as well. And they should be all set. Okay, now we're at the end of the day, and now it's time to put all of the animals to bed. We're going to start with the chickens, and they do need to be locked up in their hen house. Here we have Sunny. Sunny always greets me at the door or the gate, and she knows it's bedtime, so she will escort me to the hen house. I don't know if she thinks that I need help finding the way or she just likes company, but she tends to do that frequently. Now, we also have our new baby chicks, and they're just a few months old. And a lot of times when I come out, they will come out of the hen house because they get excited or they want to hang out with me.
Are you ready for
They're
bed?
babies. So
Yeah.
I think of it as like little kids that just don't really want to go to bed. And so they're stalling. So you'll see me, and this night that I was filming, that they were more troublesome than usual. But usually you can get them to go in because they do know it's bedtime. If I really am having trouble and all the chickens are coming back out, I'll just walk away. I'll go do something else for 5 or 10 minutes. And then when I come back, they usually have settled in and it's no big deal. Their instincts help them know that it's time to get into the hen house for safety. When I go in, then I take a few minutes and I do a head count. We have 22 chickens at this time. There are usually 10 older girls sleeping on the right-hand side. And all of the baby chicks are on the left-hand side. We've only been integrated for maybe a week or so, so they still are kind of sticking to their own areas. And if the baby chicks go over to the big girl side, the big girls are not very nice about it. Eventually that will fade, but it takes time.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12 on the little girl side. Okay. Everybody's accounted for.
I need to unhook that door up at the top so that I can close it.
Unhook.
And then we're going to pull that shut and latch it. We close up the chickens because we don't want predators getting to them. We've had problems in the past, and in this hen house, the hardware cloth is dug deep into the ground so animals can't dig underneath to get to them. So it's extra protection for them. And then by having the electric fence going as well, we've got a couple of layers of protection. And since we made those changes, we haven't had any more predator problems. We're going to begin by putting that strap down at the bottom. Just tie the bottom of the gate so that no predators can sneak in, because the gate isn't the securest thing in the world. We're going to then take the clip that's on the gate and move that to the left and connect it to the rest of the fence. So we just clip those two together on the metal And now we can turn on the energizer. We're going to flip it to the up position. We can see the green lights flashing, so we know that the fence is electrified and it is working. At this point, of course, we do not want to touch the fence. That would be bad. And our chickens are all tucked in for the night. And now it's time to put the goats to bed. And that is super easy because they don't have to be closed in. So we don't have to catch them or try and coerce them into going into their barn. They can go in and out as they please. There isn't as much of a predator threat, and we have the electric fence to protect them as well. So in the evening, I also give them 1 scoop of goat feed. And again, we split it between the 2 goats. However, Olivia, the black and white goat, can be a bit of a feed hog, so sometimes I have to grab a little bit extra to give Penelope some. And of course, they would be fine without it. They really need the alfalfa hay. But a lot of times Olivia will get all of the food eaten before Penelope even gets in there. And so I'll sometimes grab a little extra to make sure Penelope gets some.
You already had some, big girl. You already
She's such a sweetie.
She didn't get any.
Olivia's got this spunky go-get-'em personality, and Penelope is more sweet-natured and a little bit more reticent, but just a real sweetheart.
All right. That's probably enough.
Sometimes they will go jump onto their sleeping platforms, and I can give them a few pets and say good night. Sometimes they don't. Either way's fine. And we'll turn out the lights in the barn for them so that if they do choose to sleep in there, it's nice and dark. The last step at night is to re-engage the electric fence. For the gate, we need to put the latch on to begin with, and then afterwards we have the electric wire we need to reconnect. So we just take the handle and put the hook through the silver metal ring to reconnect the electric wires in front of the gates. So it makes a complete circuit all the way around the goat yard. And then we're going to go over to the panel. And the orange box is our on-off switch. So we're just going to turn it into the down position, which is on. And now that fence is engaged. Everybody's in bed. And we're good to go.